Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRFBets race of the day for Sunday, June the 16th, race number 8 at beautiful Belmont Park. It is the Grade 3 Poker. We are going a mile on the Widener turf. Really nice race, and you can play it with a DRFBets account. Remember your money back guarantee for any race of the day this month. Bet $7 to win on any horse in the race of the day. If your selection finishes second or third, you get your money back. Learn more at promos.drf.com. And now we'll meet the field for the Grade 3 Poker, and you can access free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Download them, handicap along with us. We'll take this field in post position order, beginning with the number 1 Clyde's Image. And Mike, Clyde's Image has surprised a lot of folks. Second in the Makers 46 at 46 to 1, third in the Turf Classic at 27 to 1, and he ran both times. Now, you're going to have to accept a fraction of that price in the poker on Saturday, but he fits this race like a glove from a class perspective.
Yeah, his last 2 races make him a huge contender here. As a matter of fact, his last 2 speed figures are the 2 fastest in the field for their last 2 races. So he makes a lot of sense now, but as you pointed out, he was 27 to 1 and 46 to 1 in those races. And it's not like that's an aberration. This horse has just overachieved his entire career. I mean, even in his wins, he doesn't get bet. When he was Grade 3 placed very early on in his career, he was 45 to 1. This horse just has never gotten any respect. And he's turned out to be a lot better than anybody ever thought he was going to be. To me, it'd be pretty hard to take a short price on him in this race because this is a really good field, but he can win.
You make a great point. I mean, he's 7-2 on David's morning line. He has never been 7-2 in any race in his career, but he fits off of his tag. That's right. And he was in against Bricks and Mortar, obviously, last time out. He won the Manhattan with a 106. I think that mile and an eighth was a little bit far for him. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. I think this is a much better distance for him, the mile.
Let's talk about the number 2, Hembry, who's cross-entered at Laurel. Looks like he's going to run here. Another Michael Maker claim gone right. Took this horse for $50,000. Won the Grade 2 in the Arctic last year, going 6th. Last time out in the opening verse, I thought he came with a solid enough run. The 5th finisher, Ohm, came back to run second in the Jaipur with a 102. He just got wired that day.
Yeah, I want him to run in this race because he's a horse I want to use at a price in here. I don't know if he's good enough, Dan, and I don't know if this race is going to set up perfectly for him because there's not a ton of speed in here. But this horse is in really good form. I really like his recent races for Maker, and I liked his race last time. As you say, he got wired. And listen, CM Reap, who wired that field, was a big price, and he didn't walk on the lead. I thought he went a legitimate pace, but I like the finish this horse put in. I think he's in really good form right now.
The number 3, Krampus, got a really nice trip when he won the Grade 3 Canadian Turf 2 starts back. And last time out in the Appleton, he was a little bit further back than I thought early, and that pace did not develop. And maybe Krampus was just compromised by the lack of pace in that race. Belmont has a strong formulator fact here. Over the past 5 years, with horses age 4-year-olds and up returning off a 2 to 4 month layoff in graded stakes turf routes, Mott's winning a quarter of the time with a $2.33 ROI. I'm looking for Jose Lezcano to get this horse into the race a little earlier this time around.
Yeah, like the 2 horses too with Inside, he's got claiming races in his past, but he's been really good in his recent form, and he's more versatile, I think, than a horse like Hembry, so he's got that going for him. I'm with you. They should try and get forward in here because there's not a lot of pace. A trip more like the one in the Canadian Turf 2 back that he won, where he just kept right up on a very easy pace and managed to hold on at the end. I thought he was compromised last time, and I thought he was compromised 3 starts back when he just got shut off in the stretch. He actually ran well that day, too. This horse, another horse, in really good form right now.
Let's swap the Timeform US pace projector for this race because this is a blue bar scenario according to Timeform US. That means that Timeform US believes this race will favor horses on or near the early lead. And with an alert break, Krampus can sit 3rd and Gucci Factor, the 4, can sit 4th. And it's time for Gucci Factor to take on the big boys now for Christophe Clement. He's won 6 of 13. He's beaten open horses in both prior outings. This is a horse that looked good last time in the Kingston. Yes, he got a little bit of a setup when there was a runaway speed and he ran him down late, but he's very, very consistent. He deserves a shot at this level.
Yeah, he really does. You're right. It's time to step up. He's won 5 of his last 6 on turf for Clement. And he got the stakes win last time. Even, the race that he didn't win in that streak, I thought the Ashley T. Cole, I thought he ran fine. He was just a little too far. I think the mile and eighth was a little too far for him. He had a good setup last time, but it's also worth pointing out that the horse to beat in there was Offering Plan. And they were on even terms at the top of the stretch, and he kicked away from that horse. I really liked his win last time.
Master Marion got very good in the summer of 2017. He was a hot horse winning stakes races at Kentucky Downs at Del Mar, and I just don't think he came back as good in 2018. Now, maybe he is slowly returning to form. His most recent race, I thought he got a big pace to attack, and he was coming late, but that was a really solid race. Arklow, just considered the favorite in that race, just dumped at the start. Forget him. But Fast and Accurate's earned about $600,000, and he came back to win a little state-bred stake at Penn National with a 96 buyer. Master Marion just seems to have lost his early speed.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he does, because he can, you're right, based on his back form, he could get a really good trip in this race. Maybe he's not that horse anymore. I thought his first start off the layup, while you're right that there was a good pace in there, the pace held together. Yeah. I mean, nobody really made up a lot of ground in there, so I'm not going to be too hard on him for that. What I like about him in here is I think he can get a good trip. He will be a good price in here, and he's 4 for 4 stateside anyway on the turf, between 7 furlongs and a mile. I think this is his distance. I think he's a long shot with a chance.
One of the more polarizing horses in this race is the number 6 Ticonderoga. And it seems we say this every time Ticonderoga runs. He has the talent to win this race. He is just a big goofball. I liked his seasonal debut at Gulfstream where they dropped him in an optional claiming race and he came from far behind and he won. And yes, he's better than those horses, but he really fired in the stretch, and Chad kind of then threw him to his own wolf last time out against Bricks and Mortar. He didn't belong there. You know something, Mike? I like him cutting back to a mile, but I'm a little worried about this pace setup.
Yeah, me too. I think we like all the same things about him. You know that the talent's in there. He just, for whatever reason, could never really put it all together. Since he won the Grade 3, he's only got, Dan, can you imagine he's only got one graded stakes win in his career? That was his 3-year-old debut, and since then he's won 3 allowance races. His good race is going to give him a big chance in here, and I do like the mile for him.
And Matt Bernier will talk about it all the time. This is a horse whose lead changes is just awkward. When he gets on a flow, he'll lose momentum, and that's what's beating him. He's just a little bit of a head case, but he's got a lot of talent, as does the number 7 Therapist. And I think Christophe Clement has found this horse at 7 furlongs and a mile. I kind of actually like him a little bit better at 7 at Belmont, but he handles the mile just fine. Last time out in the Kingston, listen, I thought that was a situation where Gucci Factor and Mo Maverick, they were 1-2. The pace kind of held up even though they were going fast early. Therapist came with his run. It was a solid effort. This is a horse that wouldn't mind a little yield in the ground.
Yeah, he does like cutting the ground. I thought he ran fine last time. Yeah. You know, I think maybe you're onto something that he's maybe a little better going 7 than he is the mile. But if things break right for him in here, he could get a piece of this race for sure. I think it's worth pointing out his elusive quality that he won by a neck. He was really good in there. He did not get a particularly good ride in that race. And as a matter of fact, Cancel could have gotten this horse beat by staying in the stretch. This horse actually overcame something to win that race. I really liked that performance. I thought this race was a little tough for him, but I won't be surprised when he runs well.
Now, as per usual, I'm going to do something silly and you're going to do something smart, and you're going to stick with the 8 breaking the rules while I'm going to get off him. You and I were very, very impressed with his win at Belmont last year and his win in the Tropical Park Derby. So much so that before the Canadian Turf, we thought that Chug had a horse that might be a major contender in some of the bigger races this year. The Canadian Turf, that trip just did not work out for him at all. He was wide. The pace was not fast. I was still a little disappointed that he lost. Last time out, you can just throw that race out. Listen, he's 8-1 against Bricks and Mortar. He's 6-1 against this field. You're supposed to stay on him, and I know I'm not.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you aren't. I don't know. You know, I'll be interested to see how they bet this race, Dan. I don't really know how they're going to bet it. You know, if he's that kind of price, though, I just have to give him another chance because I'm with you. I really feel like he's cut out to be at least this good. His Canadian Turf, yeah, I was disappointed he didn't win too, but he had excuses in there. You know, he wasn't going to beat Bricks and Mortar last time anyway, but come on with the trip that he got in there. I mean, you're just going to keep this horse 4-5 wide all the way around the track over ground that I'll just say is yielding. I see that they finally corrected it to at least good, so they're on to something. But it was probably even worse than that. He's got too many excuses for me to get off him.
And you got to give Barclay Tagg a ton of credit of what he's done with the likely pace setter and the somewhat surprising morning line favorite. David made Dr. Edgar 3-1, perhaps because he thinks this horse is going to get on the lead, and perhaps because this horse has credentials. He won the Appleton 2 starts back when he controlled a very slow pace. Last time out in the Fort Marcy, I think he liked that soft turf course. Olympico ran him down. He finished ahead of Robert Bruce, who came back to run well on his performance preferred firm going in the Manhattan with a 103 buyer. Again, if Dr. Edgar gets loose and nobody respects him, he could easily win this race. I think he drifts a little bit off the 3-1, and something tells me Clyde's Image is not letting him get away.
Yeah, I can't imagine he goes off favored in here, but I guess we'll see what happens. You can't knock his form. The pace scenario looks really good for him, and if nothing else, if you've ever watched this horse run, you know that he is not easy to pass when he has the lead in the stretch. He will fight you to the wire. He's a really nice horse. I don't think he'll be the favorite. I wouldn't bet a nickel on him if he was, but he's a dangerous horse.
Let's throw up our top selections for the DRFBets Sunday race of the day. You're going with Breaking the Rules. He's 6-1 on the morning line. He just needs a little bit of pace, although you know something? I really think that if John Velasquez can keep him motivated, why can't he be 3 to 4 lengths off the lead?
Yeah, he doesn't have to be outrunning this race. He can get basically any kind of trip, I think. I like him. I went 8-5, 2-4 in here. I just thought there were a lot of different ways to go.
Clyde's Image has made a believer out of me. He might be a little bit of an underlay in this spot, but I like that pace projector for him sitting just off Dr. Edgar and attacking, turning into the stretch. I'd like to see Tommy Bush win the Grade 3 Poker. Very underrated trainer in New York. I'm going to go 1942 in the Grade 3 Poker. Again, remember to play the race of the day with your DRFBets account. Money back. Bet $7 on any horse in the race of the day. If your pick runs second or third, you get your money back. Learn more at promos.drf.com. The poker has an approximate post time of 5:18 Eastern. Best of luck.